Greetings and welcome to the Art of Rising, where we are exploring transformation, leadership, and conscious visionaries changing the planet. I have the proud honor to sit with a powerful brother, a mover and a shaker. I'll just allow him to introduce himself and welcome him to the show, brother. Thank you for being here.
Such a pleasure to be here. Just thank you so much for this opportunity. I just again grateful for the content that you are putting out there and just being able to kick off these conversations. Obviously
Of
don't take this
course.
opportunity lightly. So just want to thank you again. But yeah, my name is Joshua David. I am lucky to have been born and raised in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale to be exact, by way of my family that's from Haiti. And yeah, I think as of right now, I'm actually abroad in Asia as of like 8 months, moving into a year, which is going to be kind of wild to be abroad this long. But yeah, prior to that, I was in Los Angeles for about 9 years,
Mhm,
working in entertainment, media, and publishing. Um,
mhm,
I've been somebody that's worked in social strategy,
mhm,
communications, public relations, and when it comes to just being able to and relating with audiences in a way that feels authentic, it feels real. Um, and obviously that's not the easiest that happens in behind the scenes, but you
mhm.
know, work really hard to resonate with the brand and what it feels like and looks like for people to understand it. I think it's something that's most of the time undervalued, but I think it's a skill that you gain from
Mm,
not only just like life, but I think even before this life of being in digital marketing, I was in hospitality for almost 10 years. So like
mm,
even that, being able to work in hospitality for 10 years, really start to understand people from all walks of life. And that's
mhm.
do you know what I mean? So being able to pattern recognize and understand people, and it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor, just
Mm,
look very, not as a blanket, but there is a true definition of just humanity first versus
mm,
class. All those things that kind of play into
mm.
our day-to-day interactions.
Yeah, that's powerful. I do know that whenever you're dealing with the general public, wow, you have to have like a different level of thick skin and and patience. You get all kinds of characters, and especially when people are coming to you and say, "Hey, could you help me out with this?"
Sure.
And then they're not being transparent with themselves, and they're trying to find, "Hey, there's something wrong out there." It's like, no, there's something wrong in here.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about that. Like when you're working with someone in the marketing field and helping them to build a brand and business wise, tell me how does that look and what is your approach when it comes to that?
Well, first and foremost, I always think people think they know what they want, and then the more you kind of dive in that initial meeting, you realize one, especially if you're dealing with a smaller entity, right? Not like a large facing brand, a corporate system, but a person. If there's not a clear identity of who they are, it resonates into the brand, or not even resonates, it actually disconnects from the actual brand itself, right? And it's not the greatest experience because a lot of people don't realize that that initial meeting is almost a therapy session of trying to understand, does this person understand themselves enough to know what they're expressing through their brand? And I think oftentimes it's like, hey, listen, I'd love to work with you, but there's a lot of massaging that we have to do outside of that to get to,
Mm,
because a lot of times you'll have somebody like, hey, I need a strategy. And it's like, no, you need a PR plan. Or you'll have someone that's like, hey, I need a social media plan. And it's like, no, you need to figure out your brand first, or you need to figure out how you approach yourself in front of the universe, right? Because oftentimes people just assume, turn water into wine, make my social media pop. And it's like, you have no assets as far
mm,
as like photos and content for me to work with. Um, you have no idea how you resonate with the brand. You have no idea if you want to be face front in front of the brand or if you want to just be an entity. All those things kind of always, 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 always fall to the wayside. And there's this understanding that people are like, I didn't know it was this deep. It is that deep. Like, yes, social media is very vain and kind of all over the place, but at the same time, you can't navigate through this extremely it could be a vain world if you want it to be, or it could be a place of depth. And I think oftentimes people think, well, I could do a little bit of judge and it'll work. And it's like, no, people are going to feel that. People are going to read that, especially
mm, mm,
consumers. You know what I mean? When you're trying to sell something. So when you're dealing with an entrepreneur or a brand or a person versus being a part of something like an Ebony or an Essence or a Vibe magazine or a Complex or Vogue, these are legacy brands. These are, entire entities that kind of have existed for a period of time. And those, in my opinion, are the most fun to be a part of because oftentimes people get so used to the way it's been presenting into the world versus being able to understand, like, we're in 2025. You haven't changed how you approach the consumer in
mm,
5 years, 3 years, 2 years. And it just gives you an opportunity to shake the table. And I truly enjoy bringing a new sense of flair or a another facet of this diamond,
mm, mhm,
personality or brand in a
mhm,
way that hasn't been done before, because I think people get so scared to shake the table and approach it in a different
mhm,
manner. And
mhm,
so it's a really cool thing to have worked on a lot of legacy brands in my
mhm,
career
mhm,
and be able to bring a resurgence to it where you'll have consumers being like, hey, I don't know what's going on here, but I like the feel and the vibe and the shift. But
mm,
it doesn't feel like you're completely trying to bleach it or change it or restructure it. And
mm,
it's
mm,
it's adding nutmeg to the mac and cheese. It's adding,
mhm, mhm,
a
mhm,
little bit of salt to the chocolate chip cookies, right? It's like you're just enhancing what's already there.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
so
mhm,
in my world, it's like it's cool to be a part of something that's old that wants to kind of bring itself into the new world, but also it's cool to be a part of a new brand that doesn't necessarily know how it wants to approach the world, but working with someone that's open to expanding that instead of someone that's very rigid and like, this is how it's going to be. I'm not changing it. And it's like, okay, well, then what am I doing here?
That's fascinating. Even for myself, stepping out on the social media, putting myself more out, it did take a bit of steel balls, to come out and put my face out there and start speaking, because it's that old adage where they say people are afraid of speaking in public and death,
Yeah.
and they're more afraid to speak in public than dying, you know.
Yeah.
So just putting myself out there, recognizing the message that I wanted to bring, and also just recently too, like the people who I want to speak to,
Mhm.
right? Because I think of Seth Godin is his name, right? He's the marketing guru, and he wrote many books. One of them is the Purple Cow, and he says, like you want to sell glasses, but you want to sell glasses to the one eye
Mhm.
guy,
Mhm.
not just glasses, because everybody's selling glasses here, so something needs to be a little different there. But
Yeah.
I think it comes down to trying to find out who you are, a self-aware
Yeah.
man, how society is viewing you, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to do a commercial for Tom Cruise. Like, I just don't look like that,
Mhm.
or something,
Yeah.
so I feel that you've found a bit of yourself in your journey, in those years of working in the service industry and the marketing. And why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, I think what's ironic about all of this is wanting to first have gone into becoming a surgeon, right? Like when you have Haitian parents, they want you to do law or pre-med pretty much. And when you're going to school and figuring out this is not going to work because I'm working 3 jobs while I'm in college, you move into marketing and hospitality only because there's something affinity and very easy for me to just kind of be able to go into that. And again, I think coming from a Haitian background, you're trying to diffuse or manage the chaos as best as possible. And
Mm,
so, being in hospitality, which is a very chaotic experience, whether it's bartending, front desk, sales, marketing, server, concierge, all of those spaces, it's chaos. You're trying to manage the chaos. Um, and I think as you're in those spaces, your face, your smile, your problem management skills have to keep an erratic guest or customer from losing their marbles. Whether it's my food is cold, I have a party of 20 coming into an original reservation of 15, or my room isn't ready, right? And
Mm.
so those experiences are all, they sound minuscule, but it's like the more money that the representation of a brand that you're working for, whether it's a steakhouse versus I don't know, like a dining New Orleans style restaurant, or if it's a five-star hotel versus a Marriott, right? These are different experiences and different kind of problems being escalated in very different ways. And so, yeah, I did that for almost like 10 years on top of like having a 9 to 5. And it's like, it's not only a matter of needing to be very clear about who you are, because you're going to have people talking crazy to you in your face. Um,
Mm.
because when people are upset, you get another side of humans, right? This doesn't matter about money. Doesn't matter about race. It's, you get all kinds of colorful people saying all kinds of colorful things to you. And I think when you work in that kind of experience or that kind of that industry for a very long time, you have to build a really tough skin to do stuff in that. And so you transition that into um, marketing, entertainment. Um, Belly of the Beast ain't that different. You know what I mean? It's different characters, but it's, again, this, if you don't know how you're showing up in this, you'll get chewed up, spit out.
Yeah, it's pretty. It can be pretty brutal, man. But perhaps on a personal level, you could tell me, when did you first realize that the story that you were living wasn't the story your soul was trying to tell?
Mm,
Because you told me about your parents and the upbringing and these expectations that they had from you, and I'm sure you went with the program for a while, but maybe you could tell us about that.
I don't think it's ever just one thing, which is interesting. Um, I think you do everything you're supposed to do and hope that it just works out. It's not necessarily, because I'm a planner. I've always been a planner. Um, I think, my mom unfortunately passed away in 2020, and cancer is an interesting experience.
Mm,
Um, you can be a neurotic person that tries to fix it and take care of it, but there's a thing about life where there is no control. Sometimes you have to just let go of the control. And I think oftentimes we don't talk about, or we do talk about people having these life changing experiences that take place. And essentially, you look at your life and you're like, what am I doing?
mm, mm,
What?
mm,
Um,
mm,
and as somebody who was just chasing the bag and like, successful, yes. On paper, successful, yes, but just kind of like, I feel like I'm just going through the motions. I'm just going through the motions. I'm climbing, but the feeling is gone. The excitement or the things started, everything started to feel very like, this feels like the same level, just a different setting. And when those kind of things happen, you can't necessarily ignore. I mean, a lot of people can, but hey, dude, once you join the Dead Parents Club, things feel, you can't ignore a lot of these. Something I keep saying to people is like, the sensitivity that you ignored, if you embrace it after your parent passes away or somebody that you care about, or just a big life event changes, you can't ignore the body's call outs to this. Like, whether it's a knot in your shoulder or a tick that you suddenly build, like, you can't, I mean, you can ignore it, but you just couldn't. And so I completely just fell into every shift or every call out that my body was trying to tell me, like, hey, listen, you've been in fight or flight mode since 2020, since she's passed away, and this doesn't feel, things aren't as bright as they used to be. And that happens to everyone, right? I'm not expecting everything to go back super high definition, but it's kind of like, what's going on right now? Like, what are we actually doing? Is the question I always seem to be asking. Like, what are we actually doing? And so, yeah,
Mm.
I think I tried to be on autopilot, high functioning, depressed, as people would say, I guess you want to call it. And
Mhm, mhm,
I
mhm.
think by 2024, I was like, I got to get out of whatever this is. And so, yeah, I packed my stuff and left America in April and just
Mm.
traveling through Asia from then.
That's a huge, huge shift. And like you said, many of us get that call, but oftentimes we ignore it, right?
Yeah.
Or we stuff it down, or we cover it up, like, with alcohol or sex or
Yep.
drugs,
Yep.
or, buying things or food, or, or workaholic and those type of things, but
Mhm.
it seems to be sort of like a spiritual awakening, on a deeper level, because lots of those things are just surface. We think they like have all this great importance, but
Sure.
when you get like rattled to the core, you're like, hey, wait a minute, like something else is happening here, and I have to respond to it. So
Yeah.
perhaps you
Yeah.
could tell me a little bit about that, some of those feelings and some of those breakthroughs, something that, that helped you get through some of these things.
Yeah. Spiritual awakening, come to Jesus moment, whatever people want to call it. I think I was already on this journey prior to my mom getting sick. Um, a lot of people want to graduate and seek fame or seek becoming a parent or getting married. Like, I always wanted a spiritual awakening before my late 30s, early 40s. Like, that just was something I wanted. Like, I've read enough books and learned enough about this whole identity of um, breaking this concept of who you thought you needed to be versus who you're meant to be. And a lot of people think it's beautiful and it's like this amazing, dazzling experience, and it's horrible. It's absolutely horrific. It's not fun. And like, that's something we have to stop making marketing on social media like it's this revolutionary, amazing experience. It's horrible. It's really heartbreaking. Now, the clarity that comes from it is amazing, but to get through that, it's a lot of muck that you're going through. It's a lot of trauma. Um, it's a lot of crap that you don't want to assess, and that doesn't come from just work. That doesn't come from just your relationships. That comes from everything, right? And it's a huge deal of accountability where you're not the good guy in all these stories either. So you know what I mean? Like, it's that kind of assessment test that you got to have with yourself. And so, yeah,
Yeah,
I
that honest assessment. Yes.
yeah, yeah. Nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? And
Perfectly imperfect.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because God doesn't make imperfect things, right? It's just
yeah,
that along the way we pick up garbage, and then we're like, hey, we don't even know we're walking around with it, because
yeah,
that happened to me. When I was able to put some of those things down, like I didn't even know I was carrying them. Yeah, I
yeah,
thought I was okay. I thought it was
yeah,
cool. People
yeah,
liked me. I was, I
yeah.
talked nice, looked nice, dressed nice, and all of that. But when you make that honest, reflection in the mirror, you're like, oh wow, something's different. Perhaps it's the frequency, right?
Mhm.
Because you spoke about some of those deeper things that are going on, and perhaps the universe or God or whatever name you want to put on it. What frequency do you think now that it's putting you into, or helping you to tune into? You know.
Um, I think it's like I said before. You start to the whole identity behind spiritual awakening is you shake your entire foundation and you're trying to shake loose all the things that don't align, right? And for me, I felt like, okay, I'm looking at my lineup of people that I call my friends. I'm looking at people that I was even considering dating. I'm looking at my relationship with my family members. I'm looking at the career that I'm attracting, the kind of jobs I'm attracting. And all of it was like a C minus, D plus. I was like, this sucks. Like, I'm not into any of this. And it's not a matter of everyone's bad. It's this doesn't work for me. This doesn't feel um, coherent. This doesn't feel matchy. It's not like a plus and a positive. This feels just very off. I want off this ship. I want it off of this level. I
Mm,
think being the person that is always trying to be nice and always trying to just not rock the boat, oftentimes niceness and kindness gets mistaken for
mm,
weakness, meekness, or stupidity. And I was like, I think I have not been crazy enough. I don't think I've been unhinged enough. I don't think I've been um not arrogant, but I don't think I've been no.
mm,
Like no. Like
mm,
I'm not doing this anymore.
mm,
Um, and I didn't want to discuss. Like I don't care how bad that sounds. Like I got to a place where I was like, I'm just gonna start cutting. Like I'm
mm,
really gonna just clean house. I'm gonna do
mm,
an entire spring cleaning. Since I'm leaving to Asia, I'm gonna just Rico sweep is what this woman on a TikTok. Her name is Shawnee. She's like, a
mm,
lot of you guys don't want to Rico sweep your life, and some of you really need to. And
mm.
Rico just like
Right.
just whoosh, just a
Mhm,
big hurricane or a burning experience where you just burn everything that's on in your
mhm,
garden because
mm,
it's not a
mm,
call out on people, it's a call out on you. It's like I don't all this that I've attracted because you're building this habit of allowing nonsense. You're building this habit of allowing microaggressive behavior, bosses that are jealous, like just a lot of weird
mhm,
experiences that have you just like, is this my life? Like, why is this my life? And so, yeah, I think it's an alignment conversation.
mhm,
I don't want to say I'm not low vibrational. All this felt low vibrational. I'm not saying
mhm,
that. I'm just saying
mhm,
there's a lot of mismatching. Like this
mm, mm.
ish don't work for me.
Right.
Ergo, I'm cleaning out my phone, these relationships, blocking,
Mm, right.
deleting, and you can call me the villain. If I'm the villain in your story, you're right.
Mm,
I suck. If I'm
right.
not here, gotta go.
Mm,
There's just
right.
time.
Right. That's beautiful. Clean house. And it makes me think of when people are working the land and things are not working and growing right. What do? They burn the land. They
Yep.
burn it. They set it on fire.
Yep.
What does that do? That brings up nutrients and it helps to, fertilize the land and seeds grow much better. And people just don't realize that. I often like to compare it to, being up to your nose, like in mud, but the
Yeah.
shower is like 3 feet away.
Yeah.
And people are like, what would I do if I got clean? I don't even know what to do with myself. Like, yeah, you just might want to just get up and take a shower, man. Like it might help you,
Yeah.
get clear from some things, from some people, finances, energy. Is it going to be easy? No. Is it going to
No.
suck? Yes, it's going to
Yes.
suck. Is it going to be painful? Yes, it's going to be
Yes.
painful. Yes, that
It
recently
sucks.
happened to me. Yeah, it just does. It just does. But,
Yeah.
we have to be creative and we have to use our imagination, right? Because imagination is that gift that God or the universe or the creator, whoever you want to say, gives to us in order to use that. And it looks like that's what you've done. You've been, sifting through some of this imagination, creativity, trying something new. Like, let me just jump, and yeah. Do you think that that's, a human trait, or do you think it's something deeper at work, some spiritual intelligence that's working through us?
Hmm. I think it's a little bit of both. I think
Mm,
humanity, I think humans in general are these intuitive, highly conscious beings. I think we're a lot smarter than we allow ourselves to be. I
mm,
think we're a lot more intuitive than we allow ourselves to be. And I think because of how we all grew up, especially in Western culture, in a way where there are people that are leading, and I have to put air quotes around leading. There's been a orchestrated guidebook that's been created by people that don't look like us. They don't look like you. They don't look like me, and it's all been manipulated. And you start to be like, I'm never gonna be Brad, or I'm never gonna be Roger, or I'm never gonna be Lisa. Like these are not they're not me. And you find yourself like people are dying. People are high blood pressure, um,
Mhm. Mhm.
autoimmune diseases, because our bodies are in dis-ease because we keep trying to mimic these people that do not look like us. They don't have our experience,
Mm.
have our connection
Mm.
to spirit the same way that we do. And everybody named Mama want to be like, I'm fine, I'm fine. Your hair's falling out. You have black under your eyes. Like, you're gaining weight left and right. Like, these are not vanity things. Your body's on fire. Your nervous system is on fire.
Mm.
And you're pretending that you're fine. You're pretending to everybody else that you're fine. And I'm just like, you're not fine. Now, am I perfect? Absolutely not. Like, is traveling Asia by yourself amazing? Yes, but it's also super hard. The holidays are around. You spent
Mhm.
your birthday, your mom's birthday, her death. Like, all these experiences are happening on your own.
Mm.
However, however, to some degree, do I got black under my eyes? Do I
Mhm.
look like I haven't slept? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's not,
Right.
again,
Right.
not vanity.
Right.
Like,
Right.
on a normal capacity, I look rested. Now,
Mhm.
that happens from spending 3 months in Thailand and purging everything you thought you needed to live by, and
Mm.
purging everything that you've been told you have to do, and sleeping
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
not feeling guilty for like not wanting to
Mhm.
be like everyone else that told you need to like work like a
Mm.
chicken with no head, like
Mm.
running around seeking validation from everything and
Mhm.
everyone, and having
Mm.
different businesses and just
I love that.
like these egregious things where it's like, who said we had to do all of this? Like, it's absolutely insane. Like, I'm not walking around barefoot with berries in my hair, but I'm also like,
Mhm.
yo,
Mhm.
some of our original founders and some of our original
Mhm.
originals
Mhm.
historically, we were never working like sheeps like this, like this
Mhm.
incessant murderous like this insatious hunger where you're always hungry, you're always working, and you don't even know why. And
Right.
so you spend that time purging, and then you go to Vietnam, then you're
Mhm.
like in this functional freeze because you're like, I just unlearned everything that I was told I didn't want to do anymore. And now it's like, what do you do? It's like, well, now I have to float into this weird space of like, what do I want to do? How do I show up in this world? How do
Mm.
functional freeze may not look like you're stuck in your bed all day. Functional freeze may be like, I am waking up, going to the gym, writing every day, but I still don't know what's next, right?
Mhm.
Then you go to
Mhm.
another country and another country and another country. Like, you're constantly plugging yourself into a different grid line or a different experience or a different environment. And that kind of adaptability, you can't get when you stay in America. You can't get when you
Mhm.
stay in that same state that you've been in for the last 5, 4, 3 years, 10 years. It doesn't matter. Like, it's
Mhm.
adapt life experience, this life XP, this knowledge that you're gaining just by existing. It's not something that America has taught us to do.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
it's
We
just
we
not.
we usually tell people, go travel, like save your money. Because once I started traveling, you get to see different countries, how they live, how they think, how they
Mhm,
treat people. Like this cultures, they don't even have the same words that we
mhm,
have here that we carry and use as a weapon. So many believe that what we're doing here, especially here in the United States, we
mhm,
are living this myth that has been written by someone else.
mhm.
It's sad because you look around, lots of women, and I'm not knocking them. I'm just saying, let's pay attention here.
Mhm.
Straightening your hair like Europeans, and the nails like European, and these types of things, and people just need to wake up a little bit, and become their own author of your
Yeah,
own story.
yeah.
It took me a while to do that.
What's the new pattern? So again, like, you get to a point where you just look at everything and you're just like, this isn't working. And the new beginning is trying to figure out, what does newness look like for me?
Mm,
And there's not necessarily a perfect answer for that.
mm,
Because you're trying to reconnect with all the things you kind of put to the side, whether it's maybe being into pottery, maybe being into drawing.
mm,
Um, I still love recording music, like all these things that kind of,
mm,
this whole identity of adulting essentially becomes this super toxic relationship of like putting all these things that brought you joy to the side to get the 9 to 5 that pays you the 6 figures so that you can then find the wife, get her pregnant, have the kids, get the car, get the
Mm,
house, get the lease. Like it's all these like pre-recorded things. And it's like, God forbid I say hell no to every preordained and pre-orchestrated rules I was supposed to follow. And
mhm,
I continue moving life at one, a slower pace, but one that's completely different from what I was told I have to do. And I think it's so interesting doing this because you have society. Oftentimes we have women always being like, my parents keep asking me, when am I going to have kids? When am I going to get married? No one ever asks what happens when men do this. Like it's also the same thing of like, so what are you doing? I'm traveling through Asia, but who are you dating right now? I'm not
mhm.
dating anyone right now. And it's all like, and then all of a sudden it's like this look of like, are you okay? And it's like, I'm fine. Why are you so freaked out right now?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah.
it's this pressure, it's this uncomfortableness of
Mm,
people that one may have even never even left America for a period of time, right? People are looking at you and trying to, well, I'm trying to do a barometer of where I'm at compared to where you are. Why? We're
mhm.
not the same.
Right,
Like, we're not the
right,
same. Like, I
right,
just RICO'd my entire life.
right.
You just got your partner pregnant, or you just bought a house. Like, we are not the same. And again, it's
Mhm,
not your life is better, mine's is better. We
mhm,
are different entities. And for some reason, I don't know why society has set this up. We have these weird things that where we call relationships. These aren't relationships. You are literally in a competition with someone. You are in a full blown
mhm,
competition with somebody that considers you their friend. And it's like,
mhm,
who's gonna have the awkward conversation? Because y'all are not friends. You're,
mhm. Right, right.
you're just not. I'm sorry. This is not a friendship. It's a strange competition. And a lot of us have built these relationships because of college, high school. Like it's been this incessant game, especially people of color, where all these crabs in a bucket and everyone's trying to claw over someone else to get to the top. And I was like, I don't know how we got so caught up in this as a
Mhm,
normal to our relationships.
mhm,
But
mhm.
again, fired, 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 fired. I don't want. And it's not a conversation. It's a feeling. I
Mhm,
don't want to. I don't feel good talking to you. I don't feel good working with you. I don't feel good discussing my life with you. So you
mhm,
start to build these things called boundaries, and you're like, I'm not telling people my business anymore. And it's
mhm,
like, oh my
mhm,
God, you're so secretive now. I'm not secretive. I
right.
just don't like you, and we
Mm.
have to just be okay with that. You know what I mean? And as soon
It
as you,
it is a different it's sort of like you're stepping out of the narrative, of the
yes,
script that's already there, and people are like, "Well, what's
yes,
wrong with you?" It's like, "What's wrong with me?" Like, it's kind of like, swimming uphill, all the fish are going this
yes,
way, and
yes.
I do experience that myself, and there's quite a bit of struggle there and figuring out lots of things,
Huh?
and it's I would give the advice, and I don't normally give advice, but when I do, I would say just stay away from people. That would be one of the best things you could do, because they're
Yeah,
not going to understand what is it that you're doing,
yeah,
and what road are you on,
yeah. I love
especially
when
when
you
it
said, "Oh, sorry, please."
no, no, go ahead.
I love the part where you said the script, right? A lot of us don't realize when you go off script, every time you touch base with someone from your life, they're going to try to put you back on the script that you're no longer on. Every time you talk to someone, that's whether it's high school, college,
Mhm,
they are going to
mhm.
project
Yep.
the script that they thought in their head of who you are. And you have to sit on that phone and not crash out because you have someone projecting the entire conversation.
Right, right.
And if you're not should be in a four padded wall, like sitting here rocking back and forth, you have to sit
Mhm,
here and not be combative because there's projections in how you're speaking to me and
mhm,
how you assume what I'm doing. It's all of these things. And what I keep trying to tell people is when you RICO your life, you are creating not even a new script. I'm nuking the entire script that I had. I burned
mhm.
it.
Right.
And you all want me to somehow bring this, the script is burnt to a crisp. And you want me to somehow bring it back and be like,
Right.
Joshua would respond with,
Right. Right. Right.
no.
It's crazy.
It's
It is.
insane,
It
honestly.
and then oftentimes you can come off like arrogant or
Yes.
like cocky
Mhm,
or insane, and it has nothing to do with that. It has nothing. I'm not looking down on you. I'm just saying that I'm just not with that program. I'm building my own thing, whatever that
mhm,
is. I don't
mhm,
even know what it is sometimes myself, like,
mhm.
but it's super powerful. And then you spoke about the struggles too, and the
Yeah.
struggles, how they play a very important part in the story,
Mhm,
like that
mhm,
role of putting yourself in the fire. Like
mhm,
when you think about, getting that metal, at
mhm.
its purest form to be a sword, you have to put it in the fire to remove the slack, because
Yep.
that slack is the one that makes it brittle
Yep.
and and break when you're out in battle.
Yeah.
So, could
Yeah.
you tell me what lessons have you learned already from the sufferings and stuff like that?
I think one of the most interesting ones is as people begin to learn about your story, there is again a script that they're building about you in their head based on social media, which is again insanity, right?
Right.
And you have to normalize in your head that some people are going to love you, hate you,
Mm,
and be vexed by you. And I use the word vexed because I know in the Caribbean, especially like Jamaica, vex is like this word of like, you make my skin boil, you make my blood boil because you're existing in a way that irks me because I'm not existing like that. Or
mhm,
it's not something that I've allowed in my own psyche about how to exist as a person. And it's such an interesting the DMs that you get from humans, let alone on LinkedIn. I couldn't even imagine on Instagram or TikTok. There's this parasocial sickness that we have as a society where people just want to assume they want to just be in your skin or they want you
mm,
completely eradicated from the universe or
mhm.
it's a little bit of both. Because there's a
Right.
thin line between love and hate. And it's
Mhm,
a weird, lonely experience because you'll meet people and it's like, okay, does this person like me for the idea of me or do they like me
mhm,
because of what I actually do? Because something that's interesting about this entire experience is because you're not trying to present yourself as anything, I think somebody said it to me, like, you have a very nonchalant personality. And I was like, hold
mhm,
up. I don't know
mhm,
you for you to talk to me
mhm.
like that. Like, I don't like where this is going at all. I don't like the vibe. It's very and it's me being nonchalant is me not coming to you high energy, low energy. I'm coming to you midline because I don't know you. And I think
Mhm,
people are so triggered by like they don't know how to react. How old are you? You're super chill. I thought you were gonna be super this. I thought you were gonna be
mhm.
super that. And you're not
Right.
giving anyone any ammo to run
Mhm,
with. It makes people on the opposite side of these conversations so uncomfortable because they're
mhm,
trying to identify how they act. And it's like,
mhm. Yeah, yeah, I know.
is this thing on?
I
Are
know.
you good?
I've had people even just cut me off, and I'd be like, "What? Like, they don't. Was it something I said? Well, yeah, maybe it was. Yeah,
Yep.
and you know what? Thank you. You know,
Yep.
yeah,
100.
thank you. You did me a huge favor because
Give me a
you
solid.
wanna be with that. I'm just not with that.
Yeah.
I I'm like, let's wake up. Let's do something. That's what the podcast is all about. Like,
Yeah.
how can I find people to give these gems that you're speaking about?
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
norm. Let's get out of that.
It's not. It's not. And the struggles are
Mhm.
real. The struggles are real because, like you said, it's the impurities where it's like, uh, there's been some months where it's like, what am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? There's FOMO, right? Like I had a life in LA where, majority of my years are going to concerts. I go to concerts by myself, me, myself, and I. But I go to
Mm,
any
that's
15 to
what's up.
20 concerts a year. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because I'm in Los Angeles, this is a very normal part
Right.
of
Mhm,
my
mhm,
existence. And
mhm,
not doing that all year has been very strange. I know that sounds really ridiculous, but like it's a very
mhm,
normal part of my life, like concert
mhm,
experiences, like um all these experiences they're just not there. And so you're like,
mhm,
okay, I'm
mhm,
not making best friends on these trips, right? I'm living this very transactional life where I'm moving every three
mhm,
months. Like I'm not
mhm,
attached to nobody. Again, I'm on this journey for me, me, no one else. And so again, in a world where it's like, I should be dating someone. You shouldn't do anything. And
Right.
again, that's where this gets really hard, especially during the holidays. Like,
Mhm,
okay,
mhm,
Thanksgiving just passed.
mhm,
My mom's birthday just passed. You
mhm,
know, these are just very strange. My birthday just passed. Like, you're
mhm,
having to experience these things on your own. Like, and
mhm,
then like,
mhm,
let's also talk about money situations, right? Like,
mhm,
crap, I'm low on cash right now because consulting. Like, I'm working as a freelancer. Everyone knows that freelancer life ain't for everybody. If it was up to me, I love my 9 to 5. Like, that's
mhm,
just me. And there are times where you're like, okay, the clients haven't paid me yet. Why is the money not in my account? And then you're like, okay, how
mhm,
do I stay calm in this? There is no staying calm. You freak out. Like, you freak out
mhm,
because I'm not calling anybody from my past to help me. That's not a pride thing. It's I need a
mhm.
new script thing. Like, I
Right,
can't,
right,
I'm not calling
right, right,
anybody
right.
that, you know what I'm saying? And it's
Gotta
again,
figure these things out. That's right.
gotta figure this out. And sometimes figuring out is like, I'm not going to the gym. I'm not buying any food. I'm not getting on my bike. I'm not going to the beach. I'm waiting. And I know that may not be the healthiest thing. I need me to get my nervous system in a place where it's like, you're gonna be crazy for about 3 days until this like all connects again. You didn't call nobody, you didn't ask for no money from nobody, you didn't ask no GoFundMe, like you even did
Right.
none of that. Like you figured it out because you knew what was coming. But
Yeah.
what kind of work that takes to like go through all of that by yourself? Like you didn't call anybody
Mm,
to vent.
mm,
It's a psychotic feeling. But again,
yeah.
sort of that set impurity you're talking about. Like for my sword to be able to chop somebody's head off,
Mhm.
like I
Right,
need all of that gunk, all the little stones, all the impurities. I
right,
need that out because I'm trying to just whoosh.
right,
I'm just trying to
right.
just one clean swipe. You feel me? So it's like,
Yeah. When you talk about books earlier too, and when you read the books of the masters, whoever they're ascended or descended masters, they teach you that this is it. You have to master your mind. You have to be able to put yourself in these difficult situations in order for you to grow. Because if not, you're just not growing. I know, like we said earlier, it sucks. It hurts.
oh,
It's painful. Yeah,
terrible.
it's brutal. It's brutal. But there was one thing that you made me think of when I've done some traveling. I was in Colombia by myself. I went to go meet my nephew, and then but I broke off, and I said I'm just gonna be by myself, walk the city, and simple things like, do I walk down this street or
Yeah,
this one? Like had never had to decide, do I eat here? Do I eat there? Like, do I go to bed? Like, when you're in this sort of the matrix, like they say, and the script, like everything is just out there for you. But
yeah.
for me, I feel that a good part of it is remembering some of those things of who I am, you know. So
Mhm.
so have you thought about this? Have you thought about, do you feel that all of these series of events is just helping you to lead up to who you already are? You just have to remember some of those things. Or do you think it's more like it's building me into something?
You know, the whole I'm finding myself is something that I think as you read more of these mysticism books or these books about a spiritual journey, right? Where you're not finding yourself, you're remembering. Like you're really trying to remember all this intuitive, ancient. Again, we're a lot more advanced than we want to believe, and that's not even woo woo. That's just like a lot of us are not even tapping into the potential of where we could go from an adaptability standpoint, from an emotional bandwidth standpoint, from
Mhm.
think about where America is right now. Like, what are we arguing about right now? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, what, Tim? You don't think I should be able to go to this grocery store because of my skin color in 2025? Like, I just know you can't turn carbon. I know you can't turn oxygen into carbon dioxide. Like, I'm not even going to perform a conversation with you. And I think it's that, right? It's remembering, and it is things as simple as like, I just got on my bike and drove around the island today.
Mm.
You know, I didn't take my phone, and it's like, weren't you gonna get lost? Yeah, I got a little lost, but there's something beautiful about that. And like,
Mhm.
I just, you know what I mean? Like, or I went to the beach and I didn't do anything else. Like, I was just
Right.
at the beach today. I read my book. I
Yeah.
went in the water 4 or 5 times. I drank 3 coconuts. Like,
Mm.
you have everyone else. Well, I got up at 4 a.m. I put my face in some ice water, and then I
Yeah,
went to the gym, and then I
yeah,
went to a
yeah.
sauna, and I went which I still do all of those things.
Mhm, mhm.
But one, I don't need to paint a picture for the rest of y'all to validate that I'm an active part
Mhm.
of society. But also, too, I'm not going to be on this like, I worked 4 hours straight, then I went and drank coffee, then I worked another 4 hours. Like, it's this, and again, by people who don't look like us. You know what
Mm.
I'm saying? Like,
I do, I do. Yes.
why do, and we live in a world where social media has put these people at the forefront.
Mhm.
I don't want to hear from Tom, Dick, and Sally anymore. I don't want to hear, like, and I mean
Mhm.
that from a very honest place because of who I am. I don't
Mhm.
want to be like y'all.
Mhm.
I never did. And this whole time I
Mhm.
kept thinking proximity to whiteness is going to set me up for success. And it was like, no,
Mhm.
it's going to set you up to get in the grave really soon if you don't stop trying to be like them.
Yes, yes, brother. We need to wake up, and that's part of what we're doing here on the podcast, man. Thank you so much for your time. We're coming up close to the hour, and where can people find you? You know, if they're looking for you, chat with you a bit more, or look into
Yeah.
things that you're
Yeah,
doing.
I have my website askjoshdavid.com. That's going through a reboot right now. I'm launching a podcast, like as if we need another black man with a mic, but I'm launching a podcast. Um called Intellectual
Your story.
Intimacy.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. What?
Yeah, I'm launching a podcast called Intellectual Intimacy. I'm really excited about that. It's essentially my idea of intellectual intimacy is this identity of depth, like conversations of depth. We're having the uncomfortable conversations out loud. So, um, 13 episodes that are just sitting in the chamber, and I'm just like, I don't know if I want to release this.
Pull
I
the
don't
trigger. Pull the
know.
trigger. Let's go.
Man. So there's that. And then, I'll have my podcast socials as well as mine that are all, again, sitting in the chamber. So Intellectual Intimacy Pod on Instagram. And then my personal will be That's Not Josh David. But again, all this is sitting in a chamber. Ain't nothing been clicked live,
Right, right,
but it's
right.
all active. I just haven't done anything with them yet. But yeah,
That's
I
beautiful.
wanna I just wanna be something and someone that is creating a safe space, not only for people, but our people. I wanna have more conversations about what this identity of Black male experiences look like from all facets. I just don't think I think a lot of us are dying a lot faster than people want to admit. I think we're phasing out of society in a way that's happening all behind the scenes because the conversation is just not focused on us. And that's not a hit at Black women at all. It's on purpose.
Mhm,
Um, and
mhm,
just wanting to create a space where this podcast is not
mhm,
primarily just Black men, but it is to have those safe spaces for Black men to have these conversations
mhm,
more
mhm.
often.
Yeah, that's powerful. If you're paying attention, yes, all that to yes. Yes, people just don't know that these things are systematically in motion right now, and you just have to pay attention. Look a little bit closer and you'll see. Or they'll take what we put together. I mean, listen, you would be hard pressed to find a commercial these days with some form of hip hop in it. Hip hop is there, and where did that come from? But they're in everything, in the movies and selling you clothing and food and so yes, yes.
Yeah, it's tough, man. It's everything is this biracial angle, and it's continuing to eradicate brown and black people out of the story, and it's really scary. And again, it's not about being militant or seeing the world through one viewership of the black and brown experience, but it's also like, okay, what we're not going to also do is erase our experience, and we're not going to keep lightening it up to the point that we're not even in the
Right,
conversations
right,
anymore. So
right, right, right.
it's not even a thin line. It's as soon as people start loving themselves and having a strong opinion about the black and brown experience, people start getting real awkward. Like, oh, you're so different now.
Mm,
Like, What
Mm, mm,
say what now? What are you trying to say?
yeah.
Say, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
that's
just gotta gotta
wonderful.
stay gotta stay 10 toes down on it. And
I would also say, Joshua, that if we help just one person with even this podcast right here, I feel it's all worth it, man.
God,
You
I hope
know,
so.
I really,
Yeah,
me too. That's all I could say. I mean, but I think about this. How many times have you heard something, some clip or a YouTube, and then it shifted you and helped
yeah,
you to move forward, or not to, rob that liquor store, or just that little thing that someone put out there.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
say launch that podcast, man. Let's go. Put it out. Let's go. Let's go.
Ooh,
Let's
you
go,
wanna
man.
talk
I'll
about
be I'll be the
uncomfortable
I'll be
again.
the I'll be the 14th episode. Let's go.
I'm telling you. You know, we've talked about it where it's that
Yeah.
thing again, like, not leaning on anyone for that push. This is a me thing.
Mm,
Um, and the truth is as a person of color, as somebody that was raised Caribbean, I think the other thing is being uncomfortable with the possibility of success. Like, really,
mm.
wait, does that mean I'm not going to struggle with money anymore? Like, yeah, this may
Yeah.
open a whole new door to
Yeah.
what life could
Yeah.
look like for us. Like,
Yeah. I
to
know.
run away and be scared of that. That's a real thing that we don't.
That's how they do us. That's how they do us. Yeah, I know. I've gone through this too. Like, what? Come on, man. This is crazy. I deserve this. This is my
Hmm.
birthright. This is
Hmm.
what we're putting together. It's just the nature of it. It's
Hmm.
it's gonna come anyway. It's
Hmm.
coming. It's coming.
Yeah,
It's just, but we should be afraid of it and run away. Or what would I do if what would you do? Like,
yeah,
think of all the people you could help with that money, or I
yeah,
don't you know.
yeah. It's
But
interesting.
it's a powerful thing too. As well as you said that you were from Haiti. So I know Toussaint Louverture, yeah, he's one of my heroes too, man. Yeah, yeah. People not paying
Listen,
attention.
listen. And to this day, Haiti's still paying for that. But just
Yep.
know, when you make a decision to go against your oppressor,
Mhm,
and you not only doing voodoo, but you're actually poisoning your oppressor
mhm,
strategically and
mhm.
revolting against the
Yeah,
very
yeah.
people that try to
Right.
keep you down. Like, that's in my DNA. And I
Mm.
thank God every day for being Haitian because the resilience that I have is something that, not every culture has that. And it's not a dig. It's a pride thing. So I'm just
Mm.
the simple truth is my family moved to the States in the 80s, and I was able to say, "Mm, I'm
Mm.
going to dip out for a second because
Mm.
this is not sitting right with me." And then the power and the gifts that I've been given to be able to leave for a year is
Mm.
something that I'll cherish forever. Because
Yep.
yes, it's
Yep.
been a really interesting year, or it's
Yeah.
going to be here in April. Like, yes, it's been
Right.
a
Yeah.
fascinating year of
Mm.
yeses and and all of the things.
Yeah.
It's all important.
It makes me think of another gentleman too, came from Puerto Rico, and his name was Abisu Campos.
Hmm.
Abisu Campos was the first Puerto Rican who graduated from Harvard, and he's kind of like the Gandhi figure. Like when he went
Wow.
back, he was
Okay.
like, "Wait a minute, wait a minute, we can't even eat our own bananas here. Like, wake up, people!" Yeah, and they got him and stuff like that. But
Of course they did.
yeah, of course. But thank
Yeah.
you. We'll leave it with that, man. Let's keep the struggle alive. Let's keep going
Yeah.
together. Stay right there, brother. Don't move. For you tapping in, thank you so much for staying with us. Until the next time. Peace.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate you, man.